Good morning. Happy Monday. Oh, how are we doing? How's the weekend? Mine was good, but exhausting. Got away for the weekend. Went to a couple of museums. Spent some time with the wife. And had a good time all around. But 2 days of not in your own bed. Feels good to come home and sleep in your own bed. All right. Well, if you're just joining, if you're new to the stream, my name is Keith. I have been a professional developer for 30 years, and I created the stream as a place to hang out for people who are in the job search. Getting up, staying consistent is hard. And where is that coming from? What is that? All right, had a window open in the background. Test 1, 2. Okay, we're back together. I get 3 days off and I forget how everything works. Isn't that the way these days? So we talk about two things on the stream. We talk about where the job postings are through charts and graphs I've been making. And we talk about what's going on in the wider tech world and business world. And let's just get to it. A little out of sorts this morning. Things are a little different. Okay, job numbers. Let's see. They're not good. They haven't been good much this year at all, but they're looking even worse. So we've got 3 graphs here, the last 7 days, the last 6 months, and the last year. We can see in the last 7 days, there's been a significant drop in the number of job postings coming out for entry-level JavaScript developers. In the last 6 months, it's been a slight downtrend, and in the last year, it's been flat. But if you look a year ago, we had almost twice as many job postings as we currently have. So that's not great. We don't love that. These are things we can't control. It's good to know so we can set our expectations. But these things are out of our control. How many postings there are made every day, we do not control. How many we respond to, how many we reply to, how many we submit, that is what we're in complete control of. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on today. I also like to check the news out on LinkedIn.com. If you have not connected with me on LinkedIn, feel free to connect with me. Let's see what in the news today. Federal workers struggle. State and local government jobs seem to be safe bets for employees exiting the federal workforce. Reality has not been so simple. Months after losing their jobs, many applicants still unemployed, according to the Wall Street Journal, and the problem could only get worse. One estimate expects that there to be 200,000 fewer federal jobs by the end of 2025. So there are bright spots with agencies in New York, Maryland, and Washington, D.C., leading the hiring charge. So, yeah, the Doge, whatever we call that thing, the Doge group, did a lot of heavy cuts in some areas, not so much in others. Still feeling the downstream effects of that, because a number of those people are actually in a lawsuit suing the government over wrongful termination. So they may end up getting their jobs back, and likely if they do, they'll get it back with back pay. So we, the American people, get to pay for them not doing work. That sounds like a good deal. Oh, wait, no, it's not a good deal. Sorry, got that backwards. Uncertain companies cut spending. This is what we've been talking about for weeks, about the uncertainty in the marketplace, the uncertainty in the business world in terms of regulation and mergers and acquisitions, the mixed signals that are coming out of the current administration are making it hard to predict and forecast what the income is going to look like for any particular company. And as a result, they need to cut spending to extend their runway. Generally, unless you're one of the Mag 7 or Mag 10, whatever they're calling them these days, when you're sitting on $1 billion+ in cash, unless you're one of those large companies, most businesses they don't live check to check per se, but they live with a limited amount of capital in case a rainy day shows up, and not being able to get products at a reasonable price that you could turn around and sell to your customers for a reasonable price with a good margin has put a lot of people running businesses in a bind. Most of the ships have stopped leaving China, and the last of those pre-tariff ships are starting to pull into Seattle and Los Angeles and Portland to unload their stuff. But after that, after we use all that stuff up, not very much behind it to backfill. So we're going to start seeing little pockets here and there. We'll go into a store and it'll seem normal, except one shelf will be completely empty. And companies will be scrambling to try and figure out how to make it look like their business is not going down the tubes. Few have mentioned big layoffs. Many have been revealing new cost-cutting measures such as slowing hiring, reviewing consultant and contractor fees. Hasbro, meanwhile, will speed up the multi-year plan to cut $1 billion in cost. For many, the goal is to avoid irreversible, dramatic moves in case tariffs quickly resolve. So, yeah, I mean, this is the thing. They can't just shut down all of our projects and fire a bunch of people and lay off people and not renew contracts, because it's just as likely by the end of this week all the tariffs will be off, and then they've done this crazy thing that they have to kind of undo. So it's that uncertainty that's making people in decision-making positions very uncomfortable, very nervous. Yeah. What else? Big week for tech. This week, tech giant Apple, Meta, and Amazon will announce their latest quarterly earnings amid reports of a new tariff environment which has erased trillions of dollars from global stocks. Analysts anticipate that Mag 7 tech firms will deliver an average profit growth of 15% this year, while paying almost no taxes. Oh, wait, that's not in the story. Investors will be keeping tabs on subpar results, could spark a sell-off, stoke recession fears, while strong balance sheets could ease Wall Street's concern and signal resilience. Well, I mean, if they're going to be open and straightforward with their shareholders, maybe they're going to report 15% growth and go, yeah, don't expect that next time. We can have good news and understand that still there's some bad news right around the corner. But again, these guys don't have to worry. They've got literally billions of dollars sitting in cash offshore, not being taxed, waiting to be deployed for new opportunities and or rainy days. So don't take too much from this news report. The numbers to watch this week: key data releases. The key data releases this week on the labor market, GDP, and inflation will provide a snapshot of how the tariff pressures are impacting the economy. With corporate and consumer sentiment in the doldrums, the jobs reports are poised to take the spotlight. Non-farm payrolls are projected to have slowed to 130,000 in April from 228 the prior month, according to Economist survey. The unemployment rate is expected to have held steady at 4.2. Tuesday, April 29th, the Bureau of Labor Statistics will release job opening and labor turnover from March, which measures job vacancies across the industries. The Conference Board will release a monthly consumer confidence survey, which measures how optimistic Americans are about the economy. Spoiler alert, it's not going to be good. Bureau of Economic Analysis will release a preliminary gross domestic product reading for the first quarter. The U.S. Department of Commerce will release its monthly personal consumption expenditure price index. Fed's preferred inflation measure. The report measures changes in the price of goods and services, excluding food and energy. Bureau of Labor Statistics will release April jobs report. The monthly release tracks an unemployment rate and how many jobs were added to the economy. So lots of numbers out this week. Temu and Shein, their prices are starting to surge. The days of shopping like a billionaire on Chinese apps appear to be over. 14 Temu bestsellers shows taxes on items shipping from China already exceeded the value of the product. And as of May 2nd, items priced under $800 will either face 120% tax or a per postal item fee of at least $100. Prices have also jumped significantly on Shein. For example, between April 24th and 26th, Bloomberg noted that 377% price jump on a 10-piece kitchen towel set. 377% price jump. That's more. That is more. Some kitchen towels, a staggering 377% spike. Good, fast, and cheap. Choose, you pick two. Do you want good? Do you want fast or you want cheap? Can't have all three. Tariffs cut into Prime Day. Some third-party Amazon sellers that import items from outside the U.S. and from China in particular are choosing to sit out the retailer's Prime Day sale this July. Though merchants often see major spikes in sales during Prime Days, new tariff costs make discounting impossible for many. This threatens to limit the selection of discounts available to members, as third-party vendors accounted for more than 60% of items sold in the fourth quarter. You know, one of the other things too is, Shein is direct to consumer, and in the same way that Amazon is, but one of the differences is that Amazon has these third-party sellers that they get a significant ad bump from for promoting their products. So, one of the first things you're going to notice is like, well, already, my price costs 3 times as much as it did before. So there's not any margin left, if any at all. And Maybe we raise the price so we're breaking even or making a couple of bucks, but that won't get us. That won't leave us any money left over for advertising. So even though the products are going to be hit because they'll be more expensive, and companies will be ordering less of them, but they're also not going to be promoting those products in the same way too. So what was a high margin business for Amazon, running ads, selling ads, is going to be one of the first things cut. So, we're going to see downstream effects of this kind of stuff. Yeah. Some products won't be on the shelves. Some products will be on the shelves with higher prices, maybe prices more than you feel comfortable spending. And we're just beginning to start to see the downstream effects of that stuff. What's going on in the wider world? Canadians head to the polls today. Spain and Portugal got hit by a massive power blackout. My wife and I were just talking about going to Portugal yesterday, as a matter of fact. Not anytime soon, just like one of those bucket list conversations. What do you want? You want to go to Portugal? Like, I don't know. I've been reading really interesting things about it, but it wasn't at the top of my bucket list. Trump promised a market boom 100 days in, and stocks have only seen damage. Trump hails the arrest of 100 suspected undocumented immigrants at a underground Colorado club. Yeah, they're raiding the dance clubs now. So there you go. How do you like that? How do you like them apples? Steven Spielberg says the greatest American film ever made is a 53-year-old classic with a 97 RT score. That is very clickbaity, and I want to click on it. 53 years old. When I meant it came out in like 71, 70, 72, 72, 73. So my brain is a little mushy today. 72, 53 years old. 73. Bill Gates is such a strict father that he not only left a mere 0.3% of his enormous fortune as inheritance to his glamorous daughter, but when she started a new fashion industry, he did not back the business. Not that Nepo babies generally have a hard time finding cash, because fathers will say stuff like, she's on her own to back, if she can raise money, then her business has got a chance. And then he just tells all his friends, hey, throw her a bone. Come on, man. I don't know that happened. I don't know for a fact that happened. I just know that it did. As Bill Maher says. I use these 5 prompts to see what ChatGPT knows about me, and I am surprised. A lot of people, on both sides of that thing, I think it was Google that just added more memory. And there's certainly room for that to be abused, for sure. But I really think that what's going to happen with these AI models, especially the kind of AI friend models, is we're going to have open source versions. Like at a certain point, the AI is going to be good enough that the open source models alone will be able to do that therapist role, or that friend you talk to role, or even the girlfriend role. And people and the devices are going to be strong enough to run them. And so, because all these companies want to offset their processing costs to your local machine, like your phone and stuff, so they don't have to incur those costs. So the incentives align there for us to be running a lot more local models. And if it's open source and it's been vetted that it's not sending information back, um, to some central hub. I think, that'd make a difference for a significant number of people. Like I have at times in my life, so spent time in therapy, talk therapy, to work through issues. Um, and I'm not currently in therapy, but I saw the value of it when I was in therapy. So if I could have a version of that really could spend time with me, hours at every week, and has access to all my information, I think you could do probably a pretty good job of giving me the feedback that I need and helping me process it or do whatever we want to do. I could see lots of upside benefits to that, because again, when I was in therapy and I built a long sort of trusting relationship with my therapist, there were still things I was either embarrassed to say or not comfortable bringing up. Um, and those kind of third rails that you even saying them out loud, you're just like, I don't, I feel shame about this, or uh, you know speaking it gives it power. Those kind of concerns, uh, could all kind of go away if you just had this kind of therapist in your pocket that only answered to you, and recorded that information locally, and just spent years with you. Imagine being with the same therapist for 20 years. What that would know about you. You could kind of pierce the veil, as it were. What's going on in technology? More talk about glasses again. I'm just seeing more and more of these reports. Okay, poop drones. Glad there's somebody solving that problem. Pixel Watch 2 drops 50%, 7% off. I have a Fitbit on. I've never been a watch wearer, and when my wife 3 years ago or so got me a Fitbit, I was like, yeah, I don't know, I'm probably not going to wear it. And still, right as I'm wearing it right now, I don't like the fit. I don't like it on the skin. I don't wear jewelry. I've never worn bracelets or necklaces. Don't feel comfortable in all that nonsense. And but I've been very consistent about the Fitbit. Sweaty days. It's a little warm in my office today. I don't like sticky, sweaty stuff on me. But made it work. But that big, huge, circular thing doesn't look good to me. Even for $80. Even $80, that seems cheap. Nintendo Switch. The Switch was announced, and then the tariffs were announced, and the Switch was like, we're already, making 1% on this product. It'll be interesting to see what they do, because they were already getting flack about it being too expensive. I went to get away with my wife this weekend, and I took my laptop along because I figured I might have some downtime, and there's some code that I wanted to be working on this weekend. And I forgot my charging cable. I like road trips with my wife because she drives. And get my hotspot out, open up my laptop. It used to be when we got married many decades ago, when we go on road trips, and I had the big map out, and I was like unfolding the map and making marks on here's where we need to turn, and being the navigational guide. But now everybody's got phones. My wife just looks at her phone. She doesn't need me to navigate anymore. And so that means more computer time for me on those long road trips. I like it. But sadly, not this road trip. I had a dead laptop. How are we doing on the time? Okay, we're getting towards the end of it. All right. So, were you up this weekend? Were you getting out job applications yesterday? And the day before? Those are the days, my friends, you definitely need to focus on. Elvis Presley's 1970 Cadillac Eldorado guitar car is for sale on eBay. Oh man, it is all rusted out. That is most definitely something. I never seen that before. Oh, there we go. It's got a bubble top. That is hilarious. Talking about driving like a bus. I wouldn't want to back that thing. That is made my day so far. Well, there we go, everybody. It's time to wrap it up for the day. I will be back again in 23 hours. Come on, man. Cancel. There we go. I'll be back in 23 hours and 30 minutes to do this again. If you know anybody who could use this stream, really just a place to hang out while they're getting out their job applications. If you know anybody who is unemployed recently or has been unemployed for a while and is struggling to stay current and stay consistent about getting their job applications out, staying motivated, let them know about the stream. We stream on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Twitch from Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. I am broadcasting from Austin, Texas. And I will be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, and in between time, have a great day. And I am out.